Let's head over to a big story that the Education Department is going to have to try and deal with, and so are the parents. Disciplinary processes against 36 pupils found smoking dagga on school premises is expected to start today. Now, just to remind you how we got here, the Leondale High pupils are currently on suspension after being caught. So let's find out what is expected. Aviwe Mtila covering that story for us. And there's been a lot of discussion between parents. Aviwe, good morning. Between parents and education officials as well about how to handle a situation like this and how other schools should be handling it as well.
Certainly those discussions expected to also take place at the official disciplinary hearing at 8:30 today. There's quite a lot of tension in the reception area as some of those parents as well as the learners are already inside waiting for those disciplinary hearings. You understand it stems from that viral video that came out just on Thursday as these learners in uniform were smoking dagga in the school premises. Raises a lot of questions in terms of the supervision of the learners, as you'd understand that at all times a learner is supposed to be supervised during schooling hours. In fact, I want to catch up with some of these issues with the chairperson of the school governing body, that is Sidwell Mfogeng. Thanks for joining us at eNCA Mdomkolo. But I want to start with the meeting that happened yesterday with the parents. What are the sentiments there? How are the parents receiving the news that their learners were involved in this dagga smoking?
The parents were in shock, given the culture of the school. Parents did not expect that such an incident could occur in the premises of the school. The school is known for discipline in terms of curriculum delivery, but also learner discipline in terms of conduct. And they really reacted with shock.
And today is the disciplinary hearing. What do you want as the school governing body to happen to these 36 learners?
Look, every learner that comes to school, parents do sign a code of conduct, and that code of conduct, parents are taken through it rigorously. And every year at the beginning of the school calendar year, we remind learners of the code of conduct. Of course, if there is transgression of the code, we need to implement consequence management. As to the nature and extent of that consequence management, the disciplinary process will unfold that. However, I'm having a session now with the parents just to ensure that we can speed up the process where learners have been identified in the videos. If they are forthcoming and they make pleadings and are prepared to admit guilt, then the chairpersons of these sessions will have to make a determination of either recommendation for expulsion or counseling. So we do not have really a predetermined outcome. It will depend on the response of each parent and each learner.
The video itself shows how these learners were quite unguarded, given that it was some lengthy video moving around, showing that these learners are smoking openly in the school grounds unguarded. Will the disciplinary then also look into the teachers and maybe the principal in terms of how this incident happened in the schooling premises without any supervision to the learners?
Of course, our request to the department is that that issue of ground duty and supervision of learners when they're in the school premises, they need to undertake that to establish what happened, what went wrong. But the information that we got was that there was a district visit and learners were asked to move to one block, and somebody ought to have supervised them to another block to ensure that they're in class. And the department would have to tell us why that supervision did not happen at that time. So the investigation must go to that extent with the department. We will focus on the learners as to how the dagga got to the school premises, who brought it, where do they obtain it from, where is the source, and really get to understand how we can in future prevent such a recurrence of this nature of incident.
Because I understand it's not the first time it happened. 2019, I understand there was an incident with space cookies or dagga cookies in the school. Are you not concerned as a school governing body of the drugs in the school itself and how it happens?
Well, the drug problem is a problem for all schools. We are concerned, however, we need to be more vigilant, we need to be more circumspect. And what we need to do this year, we needed to have started with searches, and which is something that we are going to do this year. The principal ought to have initiated this process early But in all fairness to management, you know, we're coming from a 2-year COVID process. Things were not normal. We're coming from an abnormal situation. We're getting to the new normal. However, that's not an excuse for laxity in terms of putting the controls in place and ensuring that, you know, such incidents don't occur.
Okay, thank you very much. Sidwell Mafukengi, the chairperson of the school governing body at Leondale Secondary High, as those 36 learners, together with their parents, are expected at the meeting disciplinary hearing that takes place at 8:30. Following that, a video that went viral of the learners consuming dagga, and we understand it was on that supposed dagga day on the 20th of April.
There are going to be a lot of very angry parents and angry education officials. Aviwe Mtila just outside the gates of the school for us. We're back to him again later in the day.